This week from the internet, we honor the real heroes of Mother's Day. Moms who didn't throw out our toys when they really, really wanted to. Plus, Andor is back because nothing says fun space adventure like a 12-episode anxiety attack. And AI is designing new Power Rangers now, which explains why the Red Ranger has 3 helmets and a toaster for a chest. Let's the Reluctant Adult Podcast. Ooh, welcome to another episode of the Reluctant Adult Podcast. My name is Paul, and I am joined, as always, by the man who wants to wish all the mothers listening a happy Mother's Day. Bill!
Hi, everyone. That's right. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. I was trying to think, I was going to do and he wants to wish a happy Mother's Day to, and then I was going to do the AI from Aliens, which was called Mother, right?
Oh, yeah. It was
because they were always walking around
there was a forward slash to it.
Oh, was it? I just remember them being like, yeah. Mother, turn on the lights. Mother, what are you doing? Mother! The worst thing they did in Alien Resurrection, and they called it Father, and it was like, what? No.
No.
What?
Yes.
That is the worst.
They changed it.
Resurrection, what a terrible movie. I mean, I'm trying to think, was there anything good that came from Alien Resurrection?
Oh.
I'm trying
That's
to
a
think.
Tough sell.
Do we like anything? Was there anything that people are like, well, that was fine?
I think people really appreciate the underwater scene more than anything.
Yeah, where he's swimming.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
That was CGI, right? Because there's parts where they did stop motion and then they rotoscoped the alien out. But
there were some parts, so all the actors, the principal actors, had to be underwater trained, scuba trained.
Yeah.
To go the length. I think that was all physical, but I think at one point they had dudes in the alien, the xenomorph suits swimming around in there for some shots. Yeah. I'm just thinking there's a running scene with an alien, and they show behind the scenes stuff of they have it's puppeteered. It's not even stop motion. It's puppeteered, and then they make it bigger. It's tiny, it's a tiny little puppet, but they make it bigger to fit in. But the rotoscoping job, the green screen job is so bad. You can see all these artifacts around it. It just was Alien 3?
Effective.
That's Alien 3.
That's Alien 3.
Yeah, with the runner alien.
Wait a minute. Which one is Resurrection?
Resurrection's the one where they clone Ripley and bring her back.
So what's Alien 3?
Alien 3 is the one where she's bald and she's on the prison planet.
Oh, I'm getting them mixed up in my head. I thought that was the same movie. Now I'm really confused.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't. I'm in my mind. Those are the same movies right now.
Okay.
We don't like Resurrection. Resurrection is the goofy one where the Hellboy's in it, right? And
right.
What's her name? Winona Ryder.
She's in it. Yeah.
And they had those weird toys. Was it Hasbro?
They did. It was Hasbro.
They were big.
No, it was Kenner. Was it Kenner?
It was still Kenner. I'm really not clear. We need to do an episode where we break down when Kenner was absorbed by Hasbro, because Kenner did Star Wars. That's why we know Kenner. But then Kenner lost the license. It's not that Hasbro absorbed them to get that Star Wars license. Kenner stopped. They were like, we don't want to pay for the Star Wars license anymore, because it was during that period prior to the special editions. There was just nothing. So Kenner's it's not worth the money to keep paying to make Star Wars toys. But Hasbro's like, aha. And then obviously that was a big mistake on Kenner's part, because we had the prequels and all that.
Yeah.
So then Kenner just I don't know what they did. I guess they did Alien Resurrection. They had these really strange, sort of pre-posed, but they weren't in scale with their previous Alien line.
It wasn't Hasbro. No, I take it back. I think it was Hasbro.
Okay. That must have been after Kenner ceased to exist. And Hasbro absorbed.
Yes. Yeah.
So like I said, we got to do a video where we
let's
do the research on this, because I want to know. Yeah. Or we'll just wait for the toy guys, or Dan Larson and Jay. I'm sure they'll cover it, because they've been doing a great job breaking down Power of the Force 2. Their latest episode, or at least the latest one I listened to, was about Shadows of the Empire, talking about that toy line. And in my head, there were more toys, but it was just that one set, some 2-packs, and like that swoop speeder bike, not a ton of stuff.
No, so they brought out Boba Fett's starship in Shadows.
The slave one.
Yeah, the slave one.
We can say it.
They brought that out in that packaging, and I remember it was one of those situations where I got it at Service Merchandise.
I believe it. Yeah, I remember Service Merchandise. They had the glass cases, and jewelry.
Right.
What a weird time. What a weird, wonderful time to be a child or an adult that collected toys. But we were still kids, teens if nothing else.
Sure.
But I think even younger than that. I think we were pretty young.
96? We were very young.
Every store, you had Ames, Bradley's. There were so many stores that sold toys. Oh. How did the world change? Is it all because of online shopping? Is that what did away all these stores?
Can it be tracked? It's part of it. Down? I think it's part of it.
The year that Amazon was incorporated, all these stores started going on business.
I remember I got my Naboo spaceship from Amazon because it was on sale. It wasn't $100; it was $50, and I was like, "That's a great price.
That's a good price."
And it's almost one of my first Amazon purchases.
Man, I don't know. That would be interesting.
Do you ever go back? You ever go back to your early purchase? You can.
I should. Does it have it?
You can. It does.
You can go all the way back to the beginning.
If you've used the same username and have kept the same account, you can go back and see all of your purchases.
I had to start deleting stuff from my email because I ran out of space. And I'm not paying Google money for email. Are you crazy? So I was deleting old emails, which is stupid. It's just delete the files, just delete the emails that have attachments. An actual email is nothing. It's
nothing. Right.
But I I did search by time frame, and I deleted old stuff, which I shouldn't have done. But I do wonder if it was that email or my AOL email. I keep trying. Sure. There was a period of time where I really wanted to get back into my AOL email, but I don't remember the password, and they won't let me in because the account was created when AOL first started. So my parents created it, so they would have to send a letter in the mail to that ass. all these hoops jump through. I'm for serious? For AOL email, you're gonna make me do things? You can't just give it to me? I'm gonna hire a hacker and just try. My password definitely was not that complicated back then. It didn't have 12 exclamation points and zeros for O's like we have to do now.
Oh, sure.
It definitely would not have been that complicated.
Do you ever
select any hackers out there?
Do you ever select that option for the secure password that they give you, where you're no way?
The browser. I think I have once. If it's a website, I don't think I'll ever go back to, and I don't want to use my go-to passwords. I will, but if it's something I think I'll use on multiple devices, I'm not gonna remember. How am I gonna do this? How do you even do it? You have to go back to the first browser you used and check what the password was. I don't know. It's too much for me. No
one's got time for it. No
one's got time for that. We shouldn't even have passwords anymore. It should all be, I don't even know. What's the best? A lot of the things I do, especially for work, have two-factor authentication.
It all should be.
Are those
all
words?
Should be retinal scanned.
Yeah, I know.
Retinal scans.
Then it's in the movies where they pop your eyeball out. No, it should be on Severance, where they take a drop of your blood, and that's how they check. They let you in the door that way.
I would go through a lot of blood logging into all these sites and everything.
It's just a drop. I wonder who has to clean it, though, after a while. It must smell like pennies. It's got to be gross. Well, I don't know what we were talking about. Alien, because it's Mother's Day.
Alien. You're right.
We need to dedicate a few moments to Mother's Day, because we wouldn't be here if it weren't for mothers. We wouldn't be here. And I wouldn't be here in Florida if it wasn't for the mother of my children. So let's take a moment of silence. What do you do? What do you do? We should say something nice about our wives. You go first.
My wife puts up with me.
That's
and
good.
all my shenanigans.
That's nice.
But
no,
she
they
always
don't like that.
threatens
You
me
have
with
to say.
separation.
No, you can't. See, they don't like. They don't. I've learned here. These are the things. If you're out there and you're wondering if you have trouble with women, I'm going to help you out. All right. Women don't like when you say nice things about them. That's really just like bad things about yourself. Like, oh, I would. I'm so weird. I'd never find anyone else. No, they don't like that. You have to say you're so kind. You're such a good mother to your children. You're beautiful. You're smart. You're funny, sometimes on purpose, intentionally, sometimes. Those are the things women like to hear.
Yeah.
So if you ever have a podcast, make sure you say them. Or your wife could just be in the next room listening. So that's a good time to say them as well. Yeah. Anything else on mothers? We covered mothers for the year.
They exist. It's good. Yeah, I think we're good.
Favorite mother from pop culture, the history of pop culture. Favorite mother, Mrs. Brady, maybe.
That's a favorite mother of yours? Okay.
No, I'm trying to think. Like Mary Tyler Moore was not a mother in her own show, but on Dick Van Dyke they had a child. But I think Mary Tyler Moore came into her own on the Mary Tyler Moore show. So I wouldn't even say that she was like one of the top pop culture moms.
Right.
Who else
Stuart's
is
mother
there?
from Mad TV was always
Stuart's
fun.
mom.
Yeah.
Can't even really think of the mom. Yeah, maybe we should have done a little pre-gaming on this. I'm thinking of like recent shows like Love on the Spectrum. Have you been watching that?
No.
It's a good show. It's a feel-good show because it's funny.
Some. Yeah.
It's very good. You root for them. This season there was more triumph than heartbreak, so that you have a good feeling. I thought it was more episodes. I was sad when it wrapped up. I was like, that's it? It's like Andor over here. I'm going to be so sad when Andor's over. Yeah,
I'm not going to want to go back. Andor.
People have been posting about how great Andor is, and then it's like, okay, they do all these amazing things, and then, they do defeat the Empire. It takes a couple times, but they defeat the Empire.
Right.
But then, like, 5 years later, you got the first order or whatever, and you're right back where you started. It's like it was all for nothing.
That is
even worth it?
Yeah. It's like 30 years later. They got 30 years. But then the Empire is like 20 years. I don't know. There's something about the timing that's always been like, don't you think it should have been a longer Empire as opposed to, I mean, probably not. They probably couldn't have handled it. But
yeah, they really.
You think they'd be a little bit more successful after?
They got all those costumes together.
They're
tailored. Their tailoring department. Well, the one thing about the sequels that there's lots to say negative about the sequels. The one thing I will say that is especially bad is they did not explain how they had those new, like, the Emperor's Final Order or whatever they were called, like the red version of them. Like, they had all those ships. Like, they had so many ships and soldiers ready to go. Yeah. And I know there's, like, some extra info, but none of that was explained in the movie. At no point watching that could you have known what was going on. They didn't even throw out a line. They didn't even have him be like, somehow the Emperor returned and he created all these fucking new guys.
Yes, and there's Star Destroyers under the ice with Death Star lasers on every single one of them.
Right. What are you talking about? And then they like didn't even do anything. Did they defeat them? I don't even remember how that movie ends. What happens?
They blew them up, but like it was almost like the end of Independence Day where they're like, "Hey, we know how to defeat the big spaceship. Just fly into the middle of it."
And then they're just going to do that for all of them?
Right. They're going to send a bunch of Randy Quaid's.
No, please no. Please no. Not. We do not want a bunch of Randy Quaid's doing anything. Yeah. The one Andor is so good, it honestly makes me mad that other Star Wars stuff isn't even close to being as good.
I mean, it makes me mad that the original trilogy exists and is so goofy.
It undoes. Like, we couldn't continue the adventures of Andor and his friends.
Like, I can't. I mean, it's so grounded and fun and no nonsense at the same time, and just so nuanced.
The way they introduced the Force through Force healers, like...
Yeah. And they're like, I don't have time for that.
I know, people didn't believe in it.
My mom had a bad experience 10 years ago. I don't believe in that shit.
Yeah. And then you gotta have fucking Luke Skywalker show up and ruin all of it. Do you think that Bix will ever be heard from again? Can she show up like in another movie later on and be like, "Where's Cassian? Oh, no one told you? Oh God."
No, I think the rumblings around the internet are she'll be part of like the post-credit scene of season 2. Yeah. And she'll be chilling out with the little red droid that got left behind in the first set of episodes.
But still, if she's out there, you don't think she's going to try to come back and find out what happened or like show up?
I don't know if I don't know if I'm really. I don't know if I'm that. I think her story is ended. I don't think I'm that attached to Bix. Are you attached to Bix?
Well, they created her.
Sure.
Everything in Star Wars, you go down that rabbit hole and find out what happened to them. You want to just create this character, and then she's like, "I'm out. I'll come find you someday."
I think she's the smartest character in the galaxy.
She might be
at that point. Peace out.
Honestly, I thought they were going to show her like walking off a cliff or something. Like, I didn't think she was running away. I thought she was just like, I can't take this shit anymore.
Flying into a super laser like Randy Quaid.
That's exactly what I thought we'd see. Yeah, and maybe there's a cut of that, but that would be too sad.
Just there wearing a Randy Quaid mask.
Cassian would not be able to do what he does in Rogue One if he was dealing with her death. Someone
was like, someone on the internet was going, I don't understand the timeline because at the end, he gets over things so quickly. He gets over Bix, and then he finds K2SO, and he's got that droid. And then all of a sudden, he falls in love with Jyn Erso. And I was like,
no, okay.
Fell in love with Jyn Erso.
That's my thing. I was trying to remember if they had any sort of romantic thing, and I don't think so. I think they just sort of die in a romantic way because they're both, like, on the beach, and they do they hold hands or look at each other? But they kind
of embrace and hug, like this is it. We did something good for the galaxy. We did
something right. I don't think it was like
I'm here for comfort with you, my friend, my comrade.
But also, at least a year will have passed since he last saw Bix, so a man can't mourn forever.
Of course not.
Especially not. That's not long enough. You can't expect Diego Luna to mourn forever. That man, he yearns. He has to yearn for a woman. That's just part of who he is.
You know what is really unresolved is where his sister is. Like, what was that?
Oh my God! I do wonder if we'll hear anything about that, because that was
that
his whole rationale for getting started.
Yeah, where's my sister?
And then
I don't know.
And then nothing. I don't know. Maybe she is someone important, and we did.
As long as she's not Bix.
Oh, I did. When we first started this season, I was like, "Is that his sister, or is that?" Oh no, that's not sister. I hope that's not his sister. Although in this universe, brothers and sisters, it's not. It's not as frowned upon as it is in reality. At least like most parts of the country. It's not Westeros. Yes. So the story ended for Cyril, which man, that character needs to be studied. Like he had the chance to turn and be heroic, but I think just too much happened in like too short a time for him to process. and he was like, I need to find, like, and he saw Andor, and he's like, I know you. He's like, I have to kill someone. I don't know if I'm going to start, like, shooting my friends on the Empire side, but I need to kill somebody.
It's like, you're the whole reason why I'm here, is me investigating the murders of my two comrades at the very beginning of this. Boom, there you are.
I guess that's
and what
true.
a line.
And then Andor's like,
who are you? It's like, who are you?
And he's like, oh, and he just gets shot in the head. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was choking out Dedra. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But again, we don't really know what happens when the lights turn off. Maybe that's just part of
That's true. Maybe that's just how they are.
That wasn't out of line. Because she
didn't
seem
great.
too phased. Mm-hmm.
It was great to see those KX droids in action. Like, we saw K2SO in Rogue One, just kind of. And we know droids, like, original trilogy droids, you know, clunky man in the suit, puppet, that kind of thing.
Sure.
And then we got into the prequel trilogy with the battle droids, and they weren't anything fantastic. They were also just clunky. And then, you know, it took like the animation to get it, like, looking like the Clone Wars and everything, to really kind of see, like, what they're capable of. But then again, they're just animated. But then, you know, we got these guys, and they're just like, they're giving, like, the Terminators a run for their money with their brutality.
Did you hear that they wanted to do a standalone episode that was essentially a horror movie?
I heard KX that droids? Like, back when it was not so much a standalone, but back when they were, like, playing around with, like, the season-long arcs and going into, like, that 5th or 6th season, whatever it was, that it was going to be a little bit, like, akin to Alien, with him, like, on the ship.
Yeah. I think we need to see that.
It's fun.
It was very nice to hear that familiar voice coming out of that droid at the end. Like, it was just so comical. It's just like this, you know, he's like Frankenstein on the table, strapped down, and then he's like, "Oh, hi there. Please don't point your gun at me. Did I offend you?
Appreciate
I'm so
that.
sorry." I love it. Like, just the way, like you said, the way they ground it, the way they make, like, these things seem like they could really be like this continuity could exist out there in another time.
I like they're giving the legitimacy of how evil the Empire actually was.
Oh my god.
Like, there's a real, like, obviously, they blow up a planet in the first movie. But, you know, for the common person that doesn't read the comic books, doesn't, you know, only absorbs the video media, you don't really get a good idea of how bad the Empire was. And this show delivers.
Blowing up a planet is very, like, Looney Tunes. Like, it's too big.
Of course, it's too big.
You can't grasp. And, like, we never saw Alderaan. We never saw, like, what it looked like on there. We didn't have any attachment to that.
And then Princess Leia gets over it within, like, 10 minutes. That's the other thing. She's like, yeah, great.
Oh no!
We did it. We escaped 4 TIE fighters and a Death Star. Yay!
How was she a princess if her dad was in the Senate? Was her mom a queen?
Her mother, the adopted mother, was the queen. Yes.
So the queen's husband can be a senator.
Correct.
So much for separation of church and whatever the hell. I'm surprised.
Church and galactic state.
I'm surprised we have not heard more outcry from certain people about how this episode was a little bit on the nose for current events. Like, I thought people would be like, "Oh, woke Disney at it again," but no. This is just how this evil organization did things, and you know, comparison to current events. It's just a coincidence that the people out there now are acting like these cartoon villains, essentially.
Sure.
Not a great place to be. But it worked out in the movies, so hopefully it works out in real life, at least for a little while. If we can get those 30 years. How old are we? 40, 50, 67?
Yeah.
If I can make it till 70 before we have to deal with this shit again, that would be fantastic.
Ooh.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That's a dream.
Kids are fucked, but it's a dream. All right. Anything else from Andor?
That's what. I mean, there's probably plenty, but we'll leave it alone. You know what's weird? Andor didn't get any retro figures. And I feel like a set of retro Andor figures would do very well, because they kind of just fit in with that Andor.
Who would you make? Well, sure. Which look?
Bix.
These are not
Dedra?
exciting toys, though.
I know, they're not.
They're not
You'd buy a
exciting.
Dedra?
I love Dedra. They had... I wonder what her fate will be. What do you think is going to end up with Dedra? I hope she escapes, and we get, like, Dedra and Bix someday.
Oh, yeah.
They're, like, hanging out on some like, vacation planet and be like, wait a minute. But I don't think Bix knows who she is, and she wouldn't know who she... Well, she might know who she is.
Of course she did. She interrogated her. She
did?
her.
In season 1?
in the first season, yeah.
Right,
well, what other season would it be? Season 2, which you've watched?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Did it happen this season? I don't remember.
No.
I can't wait to watch Rogue One next week after the
Oh, are you going to?
3 episodes. Yeah, I'm excited. I haven't seen it in a long time. And I remember it was good, but I remember being like, especially in theaters, I was like, this is so different. I don't know how to process this.
I loved it so much. My wife hated it more than anything, because she was like, everybody died. And I was like, that's why it was so great.
They had to. They had to die. Yeah. Imagine they didn't.
Oh,
they need to add back
originally,
in that scene
originally the two of them were supposed to escape.
Well, of course. That's always...
Yeah.
Hollywood always wants everyone to escape, but then someone had to be like, well, that kind of undoes all the, like, you know, the sacrifice and everything. We kind of need them to die. Also, they haven't popped up anywhere else, so they seem like they'd be pretty important. Yeah. So what are we gonna see in these last 3 episodes that lead directly into the events?
It's definitely gonna
Rogue One.
lead directly. I mean, maybe they're searching for the Death Star plans finally. Maybe news on that, tracking something down like that. I mean, it's got to be something big, obviously.
Well, sure.
To
we
got to
kill off a bunch of people. A lot of people. Luthen not gonna make it.
Oh, you don't think so?
No.
Why would he?
You think he could just go into hiding and be like, he's never heard from again?
They don't kill off the assistant. I like his assistant.
Yeah. Is that
Clea?
her? Is she an assistant to him? I feel like
she's in charge and he's the assistant.
That's what
actually.
I feel like. They are equal
like?
And they just have different responsibilities.
Yeah. So
he's
that
very
back
good
room
at putting
with
on wigs,
headset on.
She's the comms
turning
person.
dials. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. She's checking the radio to see any intel they can get. He's out there.
Scene where
he's like the people person.
He's the people person. The whole scene where she's in they're trying to turn the dial to get the listening device out.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
I love it. I love that real-ish technology they use. It's not just screens. Like, you have tactile things you can touch and turn.
Yeah. That's the thing, though, with these year-long jumps, though. It's like a character could just disappear, and you're like, wait, what happened to this character?
Well, sure.
And it's like, even like Willman, he, like, at the end of the previous set, he was like a hardcore partisan with Saw Gerrera huffing that spaceship fuel. And then he gets off the ship on Yavin, and he's like, look at me, tra-la-la-la-la. And then he's shacking up with Greta or whatever her name is. And he hasn't learned his lesson. He's still trying to shack up.
He learned his lesson. He learned that there's more out there in the world, and he's trying to find it.
Oh,
is he in Rogue One?
No.
Well, he's gonna die too. He's got to go. They all got to go.
We should make a list. Should make a list.
The list would be everyone except Cassian and Saw.
That's
and
true.
2 Tubes. 2 Tubes makes it. We've seen him.
Oh, yeah. And K2SO. He's there.
And K2SO. And that, like, white, not Wookiee, but, like, the really furry thing.
Morif?
I don't know.
Something.
Was he also in Solo, or was that something else? I feel like
he may have just been, like, a background character in Solo, but he was definitely in Rogue One.
He got a toy in something.
He did.
But I don't feel like it was Rogue One, but maybe.
It was. They made a 4-pack of characters, of friends.
All right. Well, very good.
Yeah.
Well, let's finish up with Andor, because there's not a lot of time left to start anything else. Is there anything else? Thinking about the toys, they did try with season 1. They did a full set. They did that, like, exclusive that came with that red droid. That poor red droid. You think we'll ever see him again, or he's just done?
I'm telling you, he's at the
so
end of
important.
the.
But
He's
he was
at
so
the
important
end.
in season 1.
He worries so much.
Yeah, he has a
But,
voice,
like,
right? He can audibly speak.
He can talk, and he's got a personality. He's
got a
like that kind of like, oh, poor me. He's like Eeyore.
That's right. He is like Eeyore.
He's got Eeyore energy. But he's like hanging out in the grain planet with
Sure.
like the kids pretending to like play tag. I think he's
Yeah.
got a good life.
He misses Cassian. They were
I miss you,
BFFs.
Cassian.
I miss you. Where are you, Cassian? So they made that. They made at least 2 Andor figures. They did Luthen. They did Bix.
Yeah.
They did some like Imperial guys. I don't know if they were like
Here's-
generic or actual characters.
Here's something I was very happy with Andor, real quick. So he's trying to get Mon Mothma out. They made Mon Mothma, I believe, as well.
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So he's smuggling her
badass.
out, and he gives her his coat. He doesn't
Right.
try to hide her under the coat like Obi-Wan did in the Obi-Wan
Oh my
series
God.
when he's hiding Leia through the... I was like,
Yeah, but to be
thank God they
fair-
didn't do that.
To be
No,
fair,
that was the
a lot
most
of people
ridiculous
have
thing.
like the hoods up on Tatooine, so I don't think that was too out of place. Like
I
a lot of
don't
people
know.
walk like Jawas and shit walking around.
Kind of
looking
like, sir,
that.
are you like standing on a smaller person?
He's 3 kids
somebody
on
else.
each other's shoulders.
Exactly. Sneaking into an R-rated movie.
Oh, it was so good. The way they showed how the proceedings work for these Senate meetings, I'm like, yeah, I get it. Because when we first see it in the episode 1 or 2 or whatever it is, I'm like, this is stupid. They got these floating discs in this big room. Like, what the fuck is this shit? But like, they kind of make it work in this, and you get to see the behind the scenes and how it's all connected. Like, the door's
There's
locked.
reporters.
Can I get in
There's a
there?
media. He
There's
sneaks in
reporters.
as a reporter.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so good. I know everyone's so hot on who's the guy that does everything else? Like, not Mandalorian, but he's doing like the Mando movie. What's that guy's name?
Pedro Pascal.
No. The producer director that he's responsible
John
for. Everything.
Favreau.
No, the
Dave
other one,
Filoni?
the cowboy hat.
Dave Filoni. Yeah.
I know everyone's so hot on Dave Filoni and his idea for Star Wars, but I am much more interested in the Andor verse, and I don't know if that guy wants to do more Star Wars or he was just like, let me show you how it's done. But he showed us how it's done, and I don't know that this. Do you think he could tackle like a Jedi story? Or do you think like he just chose the most realistic characters and it only works that way?
I feel like that's the way to go. I mean,
Yeah.
just taking out, and that's you always bring it back with that famous TikTok you made about what works with Star Wars is taking the Star Wars out of it.
You take out the Jedi, you take out Darth
Yeah.
Vader, you just drop a camera somewhere and you watch the goings on and you got a pretty interesting story.
You do.
That's what I said. That's how I said it.
You did.
Well, I'll be sad when Andor's over, and I do hope that they find something else. Like maybe this new
If not,
Ryan
then we have
Gosling
Life Day
version.
Chewbacca. I mean,
Well, I don't know.
that takes
fact
place
that-
during the sequel era. The Ryan Gosling.
Yes, after. Like
Movie.
that's the most in the future anything has ever been. But
And a weird
you know,
feeling he's going to wind up on Earth with an X-wing, and we're going to be like, "What is this guy?"
Remember there was some talk of like crossing over with Marvel, and it's like at this point just do it.
Yeah.
Like you got to fix both
Right.
universes. Just do it. X-Men versus Darth Vader. Let's get all these like Capcom versus X-Men, like just like crazy Smash Brothers shit. Let's just do it for real. Let's see who would win.
Sure.
No, that's not what we want. We want the opposite of that. We want grounded space drama. That's all we want. I'm not asking for a lot. Someone to make it realistic. That's what I'm saying. Maybe this Ryan Gosling thing, because the Jedi are pretty much done. And hopefully we're not making the next form of the Empire. Can we just be done with them forever? Find some new villains? Who will be the
Give us a
villains?
new threat.
Who's
new
it going to
threat
be?
would be
Who could it be?
fantastic.
It could be anything. What do you want it to be? Who do you want to be? And then it's like they were talking about doing that Rey movie. It's like, who's Rey going to fight with a lightsaber? If there's no Sith out there. Like, that just means there's probably Sith out there. We don't want that anymore. Think of something else.
think we
have
want
them fight
anything. I think we
locusts
want-
like in Jurassic
I think
World.
we just want a very specific. I think we just want the good guys to work out for a little while and then be threatened. I think that was the big thing. I think we wanted to see the rebellion and then the New Republic succeed and then just be threatened, not completely annihilated, but be like threatened, pushed around a little bit.
Yeah.
You win at the you win, and then you lose, and then you win again, and then it's over for the next 30 years.
And then you die, and then it's fine.
Yeah. Don't kill off our core characters, but whatever.
Right.
It's what it is.
Star Wars takes place in a universe. Are there other universes that have not been explored? Or in a galaxy, excuse me. It's a galaxy. Universe, there's many universes in a galaxy, right? Galaxy's bigger than universe.
Correct.
So there are other galaxies in theory that they could be like some guy shows up and like, whoa.
Yeah, I feel like that's the case. They have like those unknown regions, and then like the Yuzon Vong showed up in Legends, and they were like extra galactic, like they weren't in from the Star Wars galaxy, so the Force didn't work. The Force didn't work on them.
Wow, that's what we need. That's what we need. Maybe I'll write that and submit it.
There you go.
I gotta think about who I want. Can it just be the Ninja Turtles? Can they fight like when the Power Rangers crossed over with Ninja Turtles? I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
With the Ninja Turtles. I'd like to see more TV. Like, what are they making as fantasy in their universe? In the Star Wars universe? What shows are they making? What do their courtroom dramas look like? Let's see that show. Every week it's a different show.
Oh.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I got food poisoning at Dexter Jetster's diner.
What's their Judge Judy look like? How many arms does she have?
It's like the Oath Keeper in the Senate. That crazy ass thing.
Oh my God, for real. All right, when we get back, I don't know what we're going to talk about. There's a lot of stuff. So stay tuned if you like stuff. We'll be right back.
Hold on to your stuff.
A couple of weeks ago, right around WrestleMania, it was announced that Mattel has extended their global toy licensing agreement with the WWE to continue making action figures and other toys and stuff. I don't think these are from that negotiation period. I think it was the previous one. But Spin Master allegedly presented to the WWE to be considered as the toy licensee, and somebody is selling the prototypes that were tooled up to present to WWE to be like, hey, we can make toys too. And these are, I believe these are 6-inch scale. Now these look terrible. So that Spin Master, they make the tiny little DC toys. So I was like, maybe these are 4-inch, but somebody did say they were 6-inch. Now these are prototypes. These were just made to show off what's possible. Companies do this. You think back to the original Star Wars toys, like companies were just like taking existing toys and customizing them to see like, hey, this is what it could look like. Like, is that what Kenner did back in the day? They took toys. Isn't that like the famous story? Like someone painted them up to look like Star Wars toys.
Oh yeah. And then like the Jawa was a sock. They cut up a sock.
Yeah. So like these are pretty compared to that. These are pretty good. I don't know if it's the paint that really like makes them look bad, but the most interesting thing to me is because I'm always interested in the engineering and articulation in that they did the legs in such a way that they're not ball jointed. They're like, up and out. I guess that's how these would work. But like the top of the hip joint goes all the way up to the waist. So this is supposed to be John Cena. So I guess it kind of works for him with jeans because you don't have that added line there from where the joint would be. But it just kind of looks like there's a, like what sumo wrestlers wear, that piece, like a thong, I guess. Right. I don't know what the back would look like. It doesn't look great. It's actually it's actually kind of like what McFarlane does, where this piece is a soft rubber, and that's why they say his figures have diapers. So I don't know if that's the case. Definitely not here. There's just nothing. It just looks like the Undertaker has nothing downstairs. It's really bad.
I mean, with the coat, it just looks like he's wearing someone else's body, with just the long sleeves on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And somebody's selling these on eBay. You would think you would try to pose him a little better, or maybe you don't care because this is probably a one of a kind piece. This is the old Winged Eagle championship belt, and it looks pretty good. It's thinner. The plates look thinner than Mattel does it, so it looks a little bit better. So I would actually be curious to learn more about that. I don't know if that would have passed like inspections or anything. But these are not happening. Mattel extended, but it's interesting to see what other companies presented, what they thought that they could do, but not to be. So Spin Masters, they lost the DC license. Next year is the last year they can do it. They're probably looking for something. So they were looking for WWE. I wonder what they will end up doing. They did make the jump from the small little figures to more like Marvel Legends, larger, hyper articulated with those Sony figures, but they were priced so much, and now they're starting to show up at Ross. So, not great all around for Spin Master, but we wish them well. We wish everybody well. Now is not the time to like be like, I hate you, I hope you're gonna go out of business, because like it could happen, because we're talking about tariffs, all these companies scrambling, trying to figure out what to do. We had Hasbro posting like, buy your toys by the 9th. Everything prior to the 9th will not have a tariff surcharge, but after that all bets are off.
Target canceled every retro collection pre-order.
Yes, for those box sets.
Of 3 days. Yeah.
So they're just like, they're not gonna sell them for the price that they did the pre-orders for. Like it doesn't make sense for them to do it.
It's a good question, because there's reports too of people already kind of finding them in the store as well.
You gotta snag those. You gotta snatch them up then.
Yeah, everyone.
Those are gonna be a hot item. It's just wild, and obviously we don't know what's happening day to day. The news. If you watch the news, and if you do, God have mercy on your soul. The latest thing that the Orange and Chief said that 80% sounds good for tariffs on China. What was it prior to this year? Do we know what the tariff level was on China or on any country?
Oh, I have no clue. 80%.
Yeah, we learned
that just sounds good. It's like every day it changes. Every day it's different.
Literally every day. I'm just trying to Google really quick. 21% up from 8% prior to the trade war. So 8% is what they were, but he's saying 80. It's possible he just misheard, because that, I don't know if you figured this out, but like what he says is strongly influenced by the last person he talked to. So someone could have said 88, or they could have said 8. He heard 80, because hearing's not too great either. And that's where we're at. But I do, you always kind of look for the silver lining. The silver lining in this scenario, from my point of view, is that the people that were like, keep politics out of this, I'm not a politics person, I don't want to hear this, I just want to live in my bubble, those people are going away. Because you can't live in this current environment and not understand what's happening. It's affecting you. If you were lucky enough to not be affected by politics prior to this year, great. That is no longer the case. You are being affected. So hopefully now that people are starting to pay attention, only how many years since 2016? Only 10 years, 11 years too late. Now maybe we can move in a direction where everybody's gonna be a little bit better off. So that's the only silver lining at the moment, that maybe people are starting to smarten up and place blame where. I'm sorry, am I boring you? I
was tired. I fell asleep watching Willy Wonka.
Oh, which one did you watch?
I was dozing. The original one.
The original one, yeah.
Yeah.
That one is the best one, I think. You got all the grandparents in that big bed.
You do.
Is that like a thing that like happened where like all the grandparents lived in a big bed?
All day. Judging by Grandpa Joe, he said he was in there for 20 years. He was in the bed for 20 years.
He wasn't even old when he got on there.
At what point? At what point did he get in his bed?
Yeah.
Like, how old was he? Like, he woke up, he was 32 years old, and he's like, I'm not getting back out.
What country is that set in? Is it England or is it America?
It's strongly implied that it could potentially be England, but it's also imaginary. Like, it's a make-believe country. Make-believe
okay.
city.
Because you have that one child character that is like the prototypical American kid, like the cowboy hat and the guns and everything.
Yes, and he is from Arizona.
Mm-hmm. So the fact that they just say Arizona, they don't say America, that makes me think it is America. Because Willy Wonka doesn't
one,
have an
I believe,
accent,
from
right?
Montana. Well, like,
okay.
literally,
so
he gets the golden.
States.
He gets the golden ticket. Here's the thing:
Yeah.
he gets the golden ticket, Charlie.
Sure.
And then the mother's reading the golden ticket, and she's like, "Oh, you need to present this by October 10th or October 1st, whatever it is. Hey, that's tomorrow." And it's like, okay, so clearly he lives close to the chocolate factory, wherever it is. Everyone else lives far away.
That's good. That worked out well for him. He could just walk over.
It did, yeah.
Book a flight. He didn't have to
down the
rearrange
street.
any schedules. Yeah.
No.
Well,
God help
he's
him
the chosen.
get that
Clearly, he's the chosen one.
Shyster. Grandpa Joe.
It's a crazy movie. If you really break it down, it's crazy.
He's like, he becomes the breadwinner. Like, literally, he buys a loaf of bread at the beginning of the movie, and he gives his mom like the change from his paper route, and then he turns around and he's got like a shiny Wonka coin that has no currency value to it. And he gives it to Grandpa Joe, and he goes, "Here, I'll pay for your tobacco now."
Oh my god.
Grandpa Joe's like, "No, Charlie, I'm gonna give it up," and he's like, "No, I want you to keep enjoying that tobacco."
What a time to be alive. Also, how old was Charlie in that movie? 10?
I don't know.
I'm just thinking, like, if the kids have to be the breadwinner, like, I'm just thinking if my kids could do that, and I'm like, he would die immediately.
No, because, like, there's a scene in it. There's a scene when they were in school, and the teacher's like, "All right, I'm gonna make this. Here's some hydrochloric acid," and I'm like, "Wait a minute, my kid's 8. You're telling me that these children are like touching hydrochloric acid and like acid and like phosphate and everything, and like."
Well, the kids didn't live that long back then. You gotta get it.
I guess not. Well, there's a reason for that.
Education.
Too busy getting sucked into chocolate tubes.
Those kids were all fine, right? At the end, do they show that they survived, or they presume dead?
I think it's just implied by Willy Wonka that he's got a method to take care of all of them.
Because
happens really quick. Like, a lot of the movie is all just the lead up to the factory. And then from there, it's a couple songs, and then the kids just one by one are gone.
Drop off. Yeah. Who's the first to go? The fat kid?
Augustus Gloop. Yes.
Because that seems like it's something that could really happen. Where it's like, oh no, a kid fell in the river. Oh, he's carried away. But then you get like the shrinking kid, and then you're eating the blueberry that blows you up. Like you get a little crazier as you go. You got to like work your way into the child death. You're like, this is reasonable.
All those 7 deadly sins, man.
Oh, is that what it is? If you break it down, gluttony.
Oh, yeah.
Are they all gluttony though? What else is there?
No, because Veruca Salt is greed.
Okay, greed, sure.
The Mikey TV is sloth because he just hangs out in front of the TV.
Fair.
And then
envy. Who's
who
envious?
Else? Who's envious? Grandpa Joe is
Isn't
envious.
Isn't that Veruca? She's like, I want it
No,
now.
she's greed.
Well, she could be too.
No,
Who else is there? There's the girl that chews the bubble gum.
Yeah, there's Violet Beauregard.
What's hers?
And she's
what's hers?
What is hers? What's left? There's 7 of them.
I don't know. Again, we should have done our research before.
No.
We'll think of it.
Is it Pride?
Maybe. Because she was the champion. Like nobody... Oh, yeah, because they're no one can chew this.
Right.
And what happened? She break her jaw or something?
Bubble gum for 3 months. Yeah. She's prideful. She's very prideful.
She's prideful. Yeah. There you go.
All right. Nice. There we go.
I just think about how Willy Wonka knows he's going to give away this chocolate factory, so he's not concerned about these children dying because it's the next person's problem. Charlie has to deal with the investigation.
The bigger thing, and my wife asked this, was his assistant, the one who was pretending to be Slughorn with a scar. He just shows up right when the golden ticket is found. He's just there. Mm-hmm. My wife's like, how is he just there? And I'm like, you're thinking about this way too much.
It's planted. It was planted. It's like all those celebrities, the card companies give them packs and they pull like an autographed card. Like, oh, what an amazing coincidence. You pulled like the most rare card.
That is an
everyone's going to want to run out and buy packs of cards now because look how easy it is. It's all a sham. Everything's a sham. It's a sham. Wow. Remember that guy? Is he still in jail?
Do you think... Here's something I thought of. Speaking of companies giving things to people, given the economy and how toy companies potentially might be struggling, do you think that toy companies would start reaching out to us a little bit more? No, are we going to be taking up that mantle of making sure that we are promoting
Man, toys? I don't know like what toy companies are thinking right now. Because I do feel like they're going to need to try harder, but also I feel like they're going to not want to give away anything because it's like every dollar is going to count.
Sure.
So I don't know. But if any toy companies would like to reach out, we will be glad to promote your product, for a small fee. Very small. It's a micro transaction.
Minimal.
It's so small. Yeah, we haven't got any free stuff in a while. No, but that's not true. We got the cards from the Saturday morning cards. We got Saturday morning cards, the Matt Cardona cards. Yeah. Look at that. Yeah. Look at that wonderful commercial we did for him. More people need to take advantage of us. Yes. Speaking of being taken advantage of, Disney put out a repainted version of the Star Speeder 3000. This one is the Star Speeder 1000. So I guess this is 2 generations earlier. It's a nice red paint job on this one.
Right.
Does it come with less? What did the original one come with? This still comes with R2 and 3PO.
This comes with everything, I think. It comes with all the chairs, and it comes with it comes with the screen that plays The Adventure Continues. Yeah.
Did you hear that people were having trouble with it, that original one? Someone was talking about how the electronics did not work well on that original one.
I didn't hear that.
And they wondered if this one was going to be better.
See, I don't need this one. I have the original 3000. Was it the 3000? I got at the Disney store.
The 3000
years ago. And it does a great job of just sitting on the shelf, not doing anything. So I don't need another box.
I mean, you do need it.
I don't need it.
If you were a real collector, you would.
If I were a real collector, I think we've all.
You're never going to be invited.
At one point in my life, was a real
toy
collector.
Factory.
I'll tell you something real quick. So one of our mutual friends came to visit us yesterday. Not you, but me. So I got to play host in the house, which was very exciting. The kids, now I arranged one bathroom and one room to exclusively be used and be like completely clean.
Did they stay over, or was just a drop in?
It was a drop in. They stayed over.
They didn't like stay the night.
No, not at my house. Yeah, of course not.
I mean, you're just talking about bathrooms and stuff. So, like they're not taking
correct.
A shower.
Yes. Yeah. So then, of course, my kids are like, "Oh, we want to show you our room," because they hadn't been in the house since we bought the other side, obviously. So we go, "Hey, park on this side of the house," and then they start walking to the other door, and then we're at the new door, and we're like, "Oh, come in here." And Chris, our friend's wife, was like, "Oh, you flipped, you switched," and I'm like, "No, we own it all, ha ha!
It's all ours.
It's all ours. It's all ours,
as far as the eye can see."
And they're like, "Oh, but there's no TV in this room." And I go, "Well, that's the magic of this room. There's a projector."
Oh, the projector.
Yes, it was great. But then the kids were like, "Oh, we want to show you their rooms." And I was like, "Oh, here we go." So they go into my son's room, and they're looking at everything, and they're like, "This is just your stuff, Bill." And I'm like, "No, like my kid collects like I do. It's crazy."
Right, that's right. Yeah,
he's just a clone. His stuff. This is his junk.
The apple falls not far from the tree. Yeah.
No, but it was a fun visit.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because last time I believe you were ill, and you had to say
I was very ill. I mean, I want to tell you right now, every time the holidays come around for the past 3 years, we've tried to get together.
Yeah.
In some combination thereof, and every single time somebody is sick.
It's hard not to take offense at that point.
I know. Well, I gotta break the curse somehow. But yeah. It's like sick.
Sickness is the worst. We've been very lucky down here.
That's good.
Yeah. I'm mentally preparing for the next pandemic. I'm trying to remember what we learned from the last time, like the end of it, where it's like, all right, we're making this work. Yeah. And I don't think there's anything you can do to really prepare mentally. You kind of just have to go through it for so long that you go insane, and you're like, this is life now. This is what we do. You get through
the first 2 weeks. Watch everyone go crazy around you for the first 2 weeks, and then that's the new normal, and settle into that.
That's it. And then slowly things... But I do think it'll be much different this time because nobody is going to stay at home. No one's going to avoid public spaces.
Right.
They either don't believe it or they just don't care. It's not worth it to them.
Yeah.
And, that's fine. Because
I don't need to see any more arrows. I still see arrows. Do you ever go into a store and still see arrows going down an aisle, and you're like, God damn, just clean that up.
Somewhere I go, there's still the circle on the ground for when groups got together, and it's like, all right, 3 people in this circle, 3 people in this circle, your family in this circle.
I go to a couple places and they have they still have the plexiglass partition.
Yeah, those are fine. Bring that back.
You like
I don't
those?
Want people spitting on me.
They're so inconvenient. The best is going to the McDonald's drive-in and kind of seeing where the panel used to be and how they velcroed it up and all the Velcro is still around
still stuck
the
there.
Edges.
Because you got to leave it in case you got to put it back. You're probably gonna have to put it back.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm glad you're finding normalcy in this and not okay.
No, I don't.
What if you got to put it back, Bill? What if you got to put it back?
What if you got to put it back? You don't want to waste Velcro. That shit's not cheap. Velcro is such an interesting thing because there was a time before Velcro, and then someone invented Velcro, and then it's well, I'm never tying my shoes again.
Oh,
it changed the world.
Yeah, but Velcro can go bad. If you have kids, Velcro can go bad.
Well, I
mean, you can wear out Velcro.
Life. Well, of course you could wear. It's just little hooks. You think it's just this magic thing, but it's just tiny little hooks made of plastic that can bend. Of course, it can go bad. You can only rip them so many times before the hooks are done. But it's an amazing thing. I don't think we've had anything invented on the level of Velcro in years.
Super glue.
Velcro changed the game. Super glue is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
We were watching the Lego movie today, and they have the Craggle, which is crazy glue, but then they took off some of the letters. So the dad, played by Will Ferrell, he would super glue the Legos together, so that then the kid could not come and change it and make his own little things.
Okay.
I think that's fun too. Did you ever super glue your Legos together? I don't think I did, but I
never
probably
did.
wanted
I never even thought about that.
No, that's pretty hardcore. You're this is never. Yeah. I'm never taking this shit apart. It's not like I was gonna use pieces to make something else. I see people on there. Every set that comes out, they make it into the Millennium Falcon. Have you seen this? It's a Simba from The Lion King, and they make it into the Millennium Falcon. I'm like, that's good shit. I appreciate that a lot, that you can do that. I really like that. Jazzwares does this Micro Galaxy Squadron, which in theory I like. In practice, I collected one small set of Star Wars ships as a child with Action Fleet. I don't feel like I need to do it again. But I love the AT-AT. They have one here that they're selling. This is the gray one from Hoth. But then there's a white one that looks very nice. Is this the color of the original Kenner?
Yes, that's a Kenner homage.
It's so nice. It's so nice.
Yeah.
That's so funny that they do that. I like that a lot.
The back has some retro packaging to it. Oh, exclusive to Target. So if we just wait, we might get it for cheap.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely going to end up in the uncap. You were showing me you got some of the Target discounted, the micro gross minis.
Yes.
So those were originally how much?
Today.
25?
They were $30. $30.
They were not, though. That's such a lie. They were never that much.
No? Okay.
Because there's no way. I bought some. I wouldn't have paid $30. Plus, I see 25 everywhere. On the website, it's 25.
Sometimes
that's
the
a
website
fake
is
price.
one price, and then I don't know what to tell you.
Fake price.
That's fine.
But they're down to what?
I opened
$9?
a sleeve. Yeah, they're down to $9. I opened a sleeve. I got some pretty decent ones out of it, so I was excited. With stuff I didn't have.
Well, during the holiday, they had those on sale, and then there was like an additional coupon. So like if you bought so many that you qualified for the extra coupon, it came out to about $9 per thing. And I really thought about getting it, but you had to buy like 6 or at least 5 for it to work. So I was like, I don't need that many.
I bought 4 and I left 4.
Yeah.
So I'm going to see where I end up with the 4 that I have. See what I need to kind of complete.
Because you get 4 balls per tube.
You get 4
right?
balls, and then each ball has three minis.
3 real things and 2 nothing, like the slime and a sticker.
Slime and a sticker.
Wish they would just not put that in and save like 30 cents or something.
Sure.
I threw all the slime away recently.
Really?
I kept everything. I kept all the stickers, and I kept them like in a couple balls. I filled them with the slime packets.
Sure.
And then I was like, I'm never ever gonna do it. If I wanted slime, I could make slime, but I don't want slime. So I finally like, get out of here, be gone. I was really big into the first set. I did like all that AI photography with them, and I don't know why I just didn't get into the second set. Maybe that first ball I bought didn't have. I think I bought a 4-pack. I bought the tube at full price, and it didn't. Yeah. There were some things I really wanted, and then I didn't get it. But I don't feel like there's enough from like the other ones that I wanted to waste money trying to get the ones I did want.
Sure.
But if there's any left, I haven't gone to Target. I need to go back. It's been a couple of weeks. See if they have anything left.
Like me.
I know. My kid wanted to go to Ollie's today, and I was like, I don't want to go. I went like last week. They're definitely not going to have anything new. What's happening to me? Let's see what else we got. Oh, I want to talk about this really quick. I've started listening to other toy podcasts because I was listening to, like, no joke, 4 or 5 Severance podcasts because I love that show so much, and I loved hearing people talk about it. Show is done. They're either not making new episodes or they're very sparse now. So I've been listening to a ton of toy podcasts. So if you have a toy podcast or you think there's one you like that I do not listen to, please let me know. Yes, have some. They've been around how long? Forever, right? It seems like they've been very long running. They're Ghostbusters. Sure. The Ghostbusters, that's obviously the line from Ghostbusters. Yes, have some.
Yes.
I knew of them. I knew of the name, but I did not listen to them. I've started listening to them. They also have a toy like spin-off sister show where it's like the same hosts except like one extra guy. So there's either like 4 or 5 people talking at one time, which can be a lot, but it's good. I think there's a lot of similarities I'm learning between them and us. Like they have the host who he likes to do like impressions, which we tend to do that as well. So I do find similarity between them. They had something that made me laugh very hard. So I'm just going to play this clip of this episode that I heard, and I just want to hear.
And then God said, "Whales only need 5 feet by 7 feet of space in their container."
That schools of children should observe the whales.
Oh, where will they observe them?
This is good.
In the natural habitat of whales, Central Florida.
All whales should be moved to Florida.
Yeah, it just made me laugh. So they were talking about Moby Dick and then other movies like that and Jaws. Oh, they were talking about the similarities between Jaws and Moby Dick. How they both like mentioned Martha's Vineyard and like stuff like that. And I don't know why I thought Moby Dick like happened in another country. I didn't realize that was like here. It seemed like almost biblical to me. But so they were just talking about whales and like this, how it's sort of funny that they picked Central Florida to put a SeaWorld, the natural habitat of whales. So that made me chuckle. So that was episode something. The title is Mental Health plus the Mummy Anaconda and stuff. So go check them out. I think they're doing fine. They don't need
our endorsement.
Our help. Yeah, they don't need our endorsement.
No, they're fine.
Well, it's interesting because I started listening to their back catalog, like going in reverse, and they did one recently where they were talking about Frozen Empire. So obviously when that came out, that was a big deal for them being a Ghostbusters podcast. And I don't know if they were invited to the set. That sounds like what happened. And then there kept being parts where they're like, oh, can I talk about this? Or like, would Sony be mad? So they like have a relationship. Are they the biggest Ghostbusters podcast there is? Or are they one of the big ones?
I want to say they're probably up there, yeah.
Yeah. But then, obviously there's not a lot of Ghostbusters stuff to talk about now. So they just sort of like do like we do. And it's like the stories of the week for pop culture and stuff. But sure. They did one Ghostbusters specific episode recently. And it's kind of funny because it's like, I don't think I love any movie as much as they portray that they love Ghostbusters, the franchise. Because they were talking about Afterlife, and they're like, oh, which character do you feel had the most character development? And it's like, which character would you like to see become a Ghostbuster? And I was like, that movie was fine, but like, I don't think I could talk about it more than once. No. Like the fact that it's your whole deal and you have to like really dig into the minutia of Ghostbusters Afterlife or Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I was like, this sounds like hell. Like, I can't pretend to like something this much.
Yeah. I can get behind that thought process, of course.
But good for them. They've made a brand, and then they have the toy spinoff, like I said. So that's not Ghostbusters specific.
Just give me a tangent to go off on. That's all I need.
Yeah,
that's what keeps us going. Is the roulette wheel of where this show will end up by the end of the episode.
And weeks like this, I didn't anticipate talking about Andor as long as we did. I had other stuff on here, but here's us as pizza.
Pizza?
You want a pizza me? Look at that. That's like really good. That's really me made of pizza. You made a pizza. Your hands off. That's your slogan.
That's my slogan.
I was working I was prompting overtime this week trying to make us some new logos because here's what I did. You can make a picture on ChatGPT, and then you can say, or you can upload a photo that you took. I'm going to give you, this is a life hack. Upload a photo that you took to ChatGPT. Say, make this a 3D cartoon, and that's code for make this look like it's from Pixar. You can't say look like Pixar because it'll be like, no, that's against our terms of service. Say, make 3D cartoon. You get something that looks great. It looks vaguely like the people in the photo, but they look like they're from Pixar. Then say, make this a coloring page. And it'll make it a line drawing. There's that word that everyone loves to comment on. Drawing. A line drawing that you can print out and your kids can color themselves. This was what I did for Mother's Day for my mom. I printed out some photos. Coloring pages made from photos that they took, and we sent those up. So this is an amazing gift. I think. Wow. If your mom loves your kids, they would love to have these pictures that color. In theory, it's great.
Oh man! Well, that just gives me an idea. That's a short-term idea for a
there you go.
Big problem right now.
Well, there you go. Look, I'm out here solving problems. But also, I've been making logos of us as like cartoons, and I'm going to take those, move them into Illustrator. So it's not just straight up, AI. I'm going to take those drawings that I think are pretty good, fix them up a little bit, and then I'm going to start making graphics for us that we can put on t-shirts, we can make stickers. It's all happening. It's going to happen. For years I've been saying I want merch. I'm just going to make it happen. Thanks to the wonder of AI. Wow. So stop hating on it. I understand it takes a lot of water to cool those servers. I get it. I'm going to say it's not my problem. It's not my problem. Someone else needs to use AI to figure out the solution. All right? It's too important. Look at this thing I made up here. That's our logo on a pizza box. You got to have some fun. Come on. This is kind of fun in theory, but I don't think it's actually working out so well. Playmates. Yes. Playmates announced that they are remastering Power Rangers, the first season, under the Reignition banner. Like the toys are Reignition, but they're also putting out the episodes. They're remastering the TV episodes using AI, upscaling them.
Okay.
So this is not like when they redid the episodes and they added like BAM! And they added like crazy shit. Like this is just the straight episode, but in theory, the upscaling makes it look better. The colors, the clarity. So the official Power Rangers YouTube channel uploaded a video that's like one video on top of the other one to show a comparison. And honestly, I can't tell anything. I cannot tell anything is different here. It's a little brighter.
Yeah.
So if you like it to be a little brighter, but it's not like mind-blowing in any way. I kept waiting for something to jump out or like a picture to be different, but no. It's just a straight, you know, they just up the brightness a little bit.
It doesn't look as fuzzy. It doesn't look as fuzzy.
You don't think it looks as fuzzy?
No,
You think it's a little better?
Fuzzy.
All right.
I think it's
well,
a
that's
little
the
sharpened.
It's just supposed to look better. But I do wonder if it's like worth the effort. Like if this is supposed to bring new kids into it, like is this really going to do it? I kind of think it's charming when it looks like an old VHS tape. Like I feel like that's part of it.
I mean, I don't think it works for kids like that anymore. I don't think my kid was watching Gumby on YouTube the other day and absolutely loving it. Like Gumby from like 1956.
Yeah.
They don't care.
It's a different world for them.
They don't give a shit.
It's like, you know, how people want... Oh, they really changed that. That was weird. It's like how, you know, people want to see the original cut of Star Wars A New Hope. Like, they don't want to see this special edition. They want to see the original with all the crappy, like, practical effects. That's what we want. Here's John Cena getting an RKO. Let's talk about this. This might be the last thing we talk about. We've been pretty long today. John Cena, this is the last year he's going to wrestle competitively in the WWE. And they made the decision in his final year, they were going to turn this. He beat Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, and he's a bad guy, and they're going through it. And I'm just like, all right, everyone knows by the end of the year, he's got to be a good guy.
Wish you good luck.
And I guess I don't really care, but it's just sort of like, I don't. Yeah. It's sort of, one more wrestling story. Owen Hart, brother of Bret Hart, he died tragically in a ring. He fell. They were doing this stunt. Something went wrong. He fell. He died in the ring. They still did the show. Another reason Vince McMahon is the devil. The WWE cannot make a toy of him because his wife controls his estate, and she hates the WWE because they killed her husband. That's her argument. It's a pretty good argument.
Sense.
I think
That's
we all agree with that.
solid argument. Yeah.
Solid argument. So there's never been, since he died, there's have not been Owen Hart figures. Jazzwares, they make AEW. They made an agreement with his wife to make Owen Hart figures, but they can't do Owen Hart as he appeared in WWF. So he wrestled outside of before he was in WWF, but he didn't look like the Owen Hart that we know. So those figures like didn't even sell well. Like it was amazing that they did Owen Hart figures, but it's like it could be anybody. It didn't look like Owen Hart.
Yeah.
So this independent toy maker, Zombie Sailor, he does very high quality retro figures that look like the Hasbro WWF figures. He announced he's doing Owen Hart, and he's like, fuck it, I'm just doing what Owen Hart looked like in WWF. So for the first time, you can get Owen Hart. But here's the thing, and this is my problem with Zombie Sailor. I don't think it looks good. I don't think that face looks like Owen Hart. Somebody found a photo that like is probably the photo the sculptor used to get this face expression. But the paint does not work with it. And it's like, again, this could be anybody. You got the costume right, but then the face could be anybody. So I feel like if you were going to do this figure, you had to make sure that face looked exactly like Owen Hart before you put that up for pre-order. But I guess this was the best they could do. And you can go buy it for 2 weeks. It's made to order. It's not going to sell out. You can buy as many as you want. And maybe that's the workaround why WWF or WWE can't sue them. But could you imagine suing them? It's like, I know we killed this man, but we do not want you to profit or have any money. So that's kind of a bummer to end on. Is there anything else fun we can talk about?
I mean,
it's Pizza Us again.
Pizza Us, Lady Us. It was just me.
Lady Us, yeah.
It was my aunt.
So
legitimately my aunt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's your face.
You
told the story last week. The yard sale. You said you found your doppelganger. So for that video, I made an image of you. I said, hey, take this image of Bill. Give me what the female version would look like. And this is it. It's funny because it's not exactly your face. but
No.
you know, enough that it's like, oh, you have a relative that looks just like this.
I have a relative
And
that
then-
looks just like that.
Yeah,
I could
and then
show.
to
I
be
could
fair,
show that to my father, and he'd be like,
Yeah.
"That's my sister."
You should. And then, just to be fair, I did myself, and this is me as a
Perfect.
This is my e-girl version. I like how it tried to.
Yeah,
do
you
the
look
helmets,
like
too.
you look like you're like a '90s like MTV VJ.
Yeah, I do look like a little bit Lisa Loeb-ish.
Yeah, you look like Lisa Loeb. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if this would be my personality as a female, but there you go. So I put up a poll on our Instagram and I said, hey, would you watch this show, our show, more if these were the hosts? And like, it was pretty 50-50.
Okay.
People, a lot of, it had more votes than any other poll we've done. And like, a lot of people were like, somebody said, yeah, I'd be up in that DMs every day. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Great.
You know, these people don't exist. Calm down there, you know. So yeah, and then I put up the poll about Pizza Us, and not as many votes. So Pizza Us not doing as well as Female Us, but I'm taking a cue from Yes Have Some because they have a female co-host. So I was like, well, maybe this is the missing ingredient to really skyrocket the Reluctant Elf podcast to the stratosphere. But it's just not worth it. On this Mother's Day, I will say it's just not worth it to have a female host on here. Apologies to all potential female hosts, but maybe if Bill ever ghosts me again, I will replace you with female Bill.
Oh, perfect.
Who I will call Jill.
Jill.
And I'm joined, as always, Jill. All right, Jill. I mean, Bill. Just wear a wig.
Just wear my wig.
Which wig will you wear this week? All right, Bill. Anything else for this big week? Are you getting your wig? You have one just at arms on.
I just have one at the ready.
Go. It's like Dwight has a wig for everyone. Wow, that's like a David Bowie wig.
Fantastic.
What is this wig for?
I think I bought it to like make a Chucky doll.
Yeah, I could see that. I was like, I don't know who you're supposed to be, like the bully
fantastic.
from Christmas Story or something.
Oh, Scott Farkas.
Yeah, you Scott Farkas with this?
Yeah, Scott
He had
Farkas.
yellow eyes, so help me, yellow eyes.
Oh, yellow eyes.
When I
This
say
little
come,
toady, go
you
over
come.
Joe.
Is that intentional? to
Oh.
say that? All right, Bill. Anything else? Any other wigs for this big wig?
Oh, big wig, little wig. No, I'm good.
Big wig. Big wig.
I got
All right,
nothing.
everybody. Well, here's Cyril and Dedra as cartoons embracing. You know what we say? We don't want to grow up, but we already did. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Yay. Wig.